How's it going, everyone? My name is Lunar and welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I'm going to go over how to get better at CSGO with 10 tips to improve. I initially want to start this video off by asking what the first rank you got while playing CSGO is and the current rank you are now, whether that's faceit or matchmaking, but let me know down in the comment section below as I'm genuinely curious. But let's hop into these tips. The first one is Crosshair Placement. Crosshair Placement is a huge addition to help with your aim. Having good Crosshair Placement means that you won't have to make major adjustments to your aim to kill your opponent. Crosshair placement is not only knowing where your head height is at all times, but also pre-aiming common angles. A good rule of thumb for head height with crosshair placement is a little above half height of any wall, like you're going to see on screen now, and I'll show you. As far as a good way to practice pre-aiming, I would recommend downloading the YPrac maps by Jesper for the pre-fire practice, as it helps you with common angles when you're walking out onto a site, and you can choose just about any map in the major competitive map pool, and this can help tremendously, not only learning the common angles, but also learning the exact crosshair placement for those while you're clearing those angles. The second tip I have is to change your playstyle round by round. I'll use an example. Say if you're playing B site on Inferno, and one round you wait for a molly to fade on car, and you play passively initially, and then later on you have your teammate flash and you peek, and you end up securing a kill on maybe someone who's lurking, or the team that's setting up their nades. You're not going to be able to make that play round after round, as your opponent is either going to wait out your flash next time and have a teammate with him to trade you out, or he is going to wait for you to get greedy and hold a farther down angle on banana, say at something like car. So if you peek, you don't see anybody, you get greedy, you push even more for information, which a lot of people tend to do. They're going to be waiting for that. Instead, if you play passive and get flashed in one round, but the next you and your teammate take early banana control with utility and peek together, then your opponent isn't going to expect it. So constantly altering your play style on a round by round basis helps keeping your opponent guessing. But as an example, if you take that early banana control and it works out, but then you start to take it every round, the other team's just going to play passive. They're going to wait for those nades to be used, and then they're going to take banana control after and then push B, and you're not going to have many nades to fend that off really, and you might even have rotated, or your teammate might even have rotated since you have banana control. So definitely keep their teammates, the other team, on their toes and really keep them guessing, and just make sure that you don't approach every single round the same. Otherwise, the other team's going to build up a default to your approach. The third tip is to use your nades properly. We'll use B site on Mirage as an example. The normal setup is to have one person on site or van and the next person on cat. The player cat is normally listening for footsteps and assisting the guy mid. The guy site is ready to throw any counter nades or possibly jump peeking car if the cat teammate is preoccupied with mid. Now, all too often, people will either molly B apps early and then throw a smoke after the molly, or they will just smoke B apps every round right at the beginning. Now, the bad part about this every round is you are now down a smoke or a smoke and a molly for either later in the round or a retake on A. That smoke can be used as an example to smoke off a ramp or palace, and the molly can be used to molly out firebox or push someone off Tetris, but instead you no longer have those nades, and they probably weren't effective in anywhere in the round because no one actually went B. Now, B apps is a tunnel. It's one way out until the T side hits window, because they can jump out window or go out the balcony side, and you should really use your nades. If your teammate hears them rushing B apps, you can molly, you can counter flash if you hear them rushing through it. You can save the smoke even to buy time and use the smoke later on for your teammates to rotate as well. Now, you want to use your nades to your advantage, and you don't want to throw them away at the beginning of the round every single round. Now, of course, if you have a feeling that they could be pushing B apps, you can easily throw a smoke or even throw an early molly if you wanted to, but after that, don't use any more nades unless you actually hear someone or see someone pushing. But you also don't want to make the mistake of dying with all of your nades either. You just want to play it out as far as the rounds go and use your nades in a smart manner, and don't just either dump them all into one thing in the beginning of the round. Use them throughout the round and use them to where they actually benefit you rather than just hoping to stop something. The fourth tip is to practice spray control. This is huge in my opinion, as this could be the main reason why you're losing your 1v1 gunfights. I would recommend practicing on Mr. Elliptical's Recoil Master Map. You can have great aim, but if you do not know your spray patterns, you can easily lose your gunfights and give your opponent the man advantage. I've seen way too many people lose their gunfights due to poor spray control, but then the next round they easily click 3 people in the head. So it definitely can happen, and practicing your spray control just goes along with also practicing your aim in general, but this can be huge, especially to new players, as spray control is not something that they're actually used to compensating for. So you'll find the map in the description along with the map I mentioned previously. The fifth tip is to learn common smoke lineups for the main maps you play. Knowing the common smokes is not a hard thing any longer, with there being so many smoke tutorials and videos out there, and also even maps to easily help you line up smokes in-game. Now, these smokes can make a difference very easily from you winning the game to losing, as the common smokes are made to cut off major points of the map, either for the Ts or CTs, and can help you with taking map control or retaking a site. So be sure to learn lineups both for the T side and CT side, as they both have an impact heavily on the game, and there are many times where people don't know a quick smoke like jungle or coffins on Inferno, and it can really make or break a round. The sixth tip is to stay alive, and this might sound very cheesy, but this is one of the most important tips in this video, as staying alive can be more important than getting a frag. If you are solo holding a bomb site as an example, and we'll use B on cache since it's one of the most common sites to hold solo, when holding B on cache, you don't want to push in and just put yourself into a one and done position where yes, you may get a frag, but you will die immediately after, because the trade frag will benefit the opponent every time. Instead, you want to stay alive and use your utility. As an example, if you get a kill on default, you want to fall back and hide behind default. You want to buy that time for your team to actually rotate. You could use this by using your utility, but staying alive really does this. This also makes your opponent focus on your position. They have to use utility to push you out or kill you, but this is all the while they also have to worry about other angles and using utility for other angles where they can also be killed from. Your teammates can also support you when rotating in, and they can throw a nice pop flash for you, and then boom, you can secure a second kill, and then at that point it's a 3-on-5 in total, and you're still alive on the bomb site. The seventh tip is communication. CSGO is fun when your team is communicating and helping out, even if you're not playing your best or your teammate is having a bad game. Good communication is still necessary. Even though you may have lost your gunfight or died when getting flashed out of a choke point, you still gained information to share with your team, whether that is how many people are there, what gun they have, if they're low on health, or if they used any utility. These are all things you can take in and communicate back to your team that provide very important information in the round. Good communication can easily make or break a game. When calling out, you want to be as quick and concise as possible, so that way it is easier for your teammates to acknowledge the information and act in a timely manner. You don't want to clutter the information with a bunch of words, and you want to avoid words like I think, or they could be, or they're all B, or they're all rushing. Instead, call out by saying 2B, 1 is hurt, I don't see bomb. That's it. That gives your team a huge amount of information that doesn't make people over-rotate or anything like that and put your team into a bad point, and also get your teammates mad at you. Also, you want to avoid complaining about a mistake you might have made or how you have died. You can easily do that off the mic afterwards or even after the round with your teammates. The eighth tip is to take advantage of the economy. And when it comes to pugs, this is easier said than done, as people don't always buy with their team. But an easy example is if the T side has a 3 to 5 round loss bonus and manage to get the bomb down, if they forced or saved, they're going to have AKs and utility at the very least next round. And it's good knowing that information, because if you need to buy up again, then don't buy head armor. It won't save you against an AK, but it will save you money. Another example is after you win pistol round, the second round, save your SMG or FAMAS or Galil, because even though the other team's going to be buying up, it still gives you more into that following round because you don't have to force more money into it and you don't have to invest more money into it. Essentially, it gives you a free round because if you win, then boom, you have even more money. You still have your gun in hand as well too, or even if you lost your gun, you still have more money. And then even if you lose, you'll have more than enough money to buy up again rather than instantly being forced to save on that third round. And that could help you secure another round after that. And you securing that fourth round in total in the game, with the other team winning the third round, you'll actually force them onto a save and break their economy all over again. So using the economy to your advantage and learning the economy is definitely very important. The 9th tip is to rewatch your demos. You don't want to just rewatch any demo though. Watch the games where it might have been a bad game for you or games where you played exceptionally well. The reason why is because the bad games will be able to point out your mistakes and find things you can do better next time or find things that you can avoid altogether. You'll also be able to see what your opponent did well to help the other team win the game, and you might be able to adapt something from them into your own playstyle that works out for you. Now, for the games you played good, it will also show you what you did correctly and how it had an impact on the other team to help justify your choices, and it still might even show you areas where you can improve because you can always improve no matter what. Now, watching your demos is not just only watching your own demos, but also watching pro demos, either from pro matches. I would definitely recommend pro matches over pugs, but still, there's still some good things here or there to learn from a pro player playing a pug. But the biggest thing is the pro matches, and watch the positions that you might play. Say you like to play B sites on Mirage or A site on Mirage or mid on Mirage, and watch them play and how they use utility and how they play throughout the round, as it's can not only help you, but you can actually take those things and implement them into your own play style and actually be able to win games because of it. And it'll also make you a smarter player because you're not only looking at how they're playing the round, but you're also thinking about how you would play the round in that situation as well too. So it'll definitely help out. For the final tip for this video, it is going to be going over right eye peeking. Now, if you haven't heard this before, it's when you actually swing out to the right and you're far away from the wall that you're swinging from. And I'll show you on screen what I'm talking about as well too. The reason why you want to do this is because it gives you what I like to call peeker's advantage, because it creates less of an area where your body is showing compared to if you were close to the wall and you tried to swing out right, or compared to if you were swinging from the left-hand side. Now, you'll see many pro players do this very subconsciously, and you'll see a lot of crazy clips from this. If someone's holding an angle with an op and someone peeks them and instantly taps them in the head, it'll look like only a tiny part of their body is showing, and like they have a pretty insane reaction time, which granted, by all means, they definitely do, but it's also because of the peeker's advantage or the right eye peeking, because they can actually see more of their opponent than you or they will be able to see of you. So it definitely is something to get used to doing. It's definitely going to be something to practice, especially if you don't do it all the time or haven't heard about it. Now, right eye peeking can really help you win the initial gunfight. It can help you fend off choke points, or at least push choke points by getting that super easy, nice kill. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you all did enjoy this video, be sure to hit that like button. Also, if you want to keep up with more videos, subscribe for more of my content. And if you want to see anything else or have any other tips to add, feel free to add that down in the comments section below, as it might help someone else out as well too that's watching this video. But my name is Lunar, and I'll catch you all with another video next time.